I have a confession. I love the NBA bubble. No fans, empty gyms, no travel, no home court advantage, none of that. It was like an open gym with the best players on the planet. Pure, unfiltered hoops. And it did not disappoint. We saw one of the greatest playoff duels of all time, witnessed a handful of game-winning buzzer beaters, comebacks and chokes, legacies being cemented, and TJ Warren turning into Michael Jordan for a week. The bubble had it all. We're now nearly half a decade removed from it, and I thought it'd be a good time to revisit the wildest, weirdest, most unforgettable chapter in NBA history. The Utah Jazz and OKC Thunder are scheduled to tip off at 7 p.m. on March 11th, 2020. Yet here we are 10 minutes later in a state of confusion. The officials are huddled up talking about something, and just moments later, like it was straight out of a movie, men in suits rush the court like the FBI to speak to the officials. Something was said, the teams go back to their locker rooms, and the game is postponed. No one knew what was going on, but about an hour and a half after their scheduled tip-off, Shams Charania broke the news. Someone on the Utah Jazz had tested positive for a virus that for the past few months had the world on the cusp of a global pandemic. And that someone was Rudy Gobert, who just days prior had jokingly touched every reporter's mic in what is now seen as an act of complete ignorance. Not even 10 minutes after the news broke, the NBA announced they were suspending the season, becoming the first major sports league to do so. Word spread to Dallas where the Mavericks were playing the Nuggets. Mark Cuban reacts to the news just like the rest of us, the sports world explodes, and we're questioning if anything will ever be the same again. After a chaotic 5 months, the world began to calm down, and the NBA wasted no time. The league formalized a plan to resume the season on July 30th at the Walt Disney Resort in Orlando, inviting 22 teams to play 8 seeding games followed by a full-length postseason. Thank God for the bubble, because we had a hell of a season going on. The new LeBron and AD Lakers were dominating as they were chasing a championship in honor of Kobe. The LA Clippers had just loaded up with the reigning champion and finals MVP Kawhi Leonard alongside Paul George. A battle of LA in the conference finals seemed inevitable. The Denver Nuggets' star duo were making noise as a possible dark horse, and a second-year superstar in Dallas was hooping. The West was loaded. Out east, the Bucks were steamrolling the NBA as the overall #1 seed as Giannis chased his second of back-to-back MVPs. Surprisingly, right on their tail were the Toronto Raptors, thriving in their first season without Kawhi in search of consecutive titles. And down in Miami, Jimmy Butler was making waves on his new team, surging as serious championship contenders. I mean, the guy didn't even bring any of his family to the bubble, stating that it was a business trip. He was locked in. An all-around great NBA season was finally back. Basketball was back. The seeding games made one thing blatantly clear. NBA players playing in an empty gym was like rookie mode compared to playing in front of 20,000 people. Some of the shots these guys were making had me thinking there were magnets in the ball. And don't even get me started with MJ Warren. The man exploded for 53 in his first bubble game. 53. TJ Warren and 53 points should never be in the same sentence together. But in the bubble, he was like that, averaging 31 a night in the seeding games. It was like an alternate universe. In other news, Lou Williams was caught leaving the bubble to go to Magic City just for some wings. Kyle Kuzma hit a game winner against the Nuggets to no crowd reaction, which felt weird. In a Raptors Magic game, Kyle Lowry and Aaron Gordon get into it, to which Lowry tells him his room number so they can handle business. Only in the bubble. However, the more intriguing storyline from the seeding games was that all the clocks were broken, and no one knew why. They all said, Dame time.
Lillard, 5 to shoot. A minute and a half to play. That's a bomb! Oh! Second chance point streak when Portland. Balance shot. Lillard for 3. Bottom!
Seconds. Dame able to force the foul, the bucket, and Damian Lillard.
Good and go. Lillard throws it down. Lillard fires, and it doesn't take much time.
Right side, nice
Screen. Lillard launches.
Dame wants another 3.
Inside Jeremiah Martin puts up another 3.
Damian Lillard dribbling up. You guard him. I don't care if that's CJ McCollum. I don't care if that's Michael Jordan over there.
9.
Oh my
Look
goodness.
at this shot by Lillard.
That was from the NBA logo.
Oh my goodness, what a shot.
You gotta be kidding.
Dame time was in full effect in the bubble as he averaged 37 points per game on sizzling efficiency, including 51 on Philly and 61 on Dallas in back-to-back games. This dude was launching from just a step inside half court. He was possessed, so much so that he won the bubble MVP. Yup, the bubble MVP. Get me to the playoffs, bro. Round 1 in the East was a quick one. Giannis and the Bucks trampled the Magic in 5, the JT-JB Celtics battered an injured Philly team in 4, Miami looked deadly on their way to a sweep over the Pacers, lining them up for a date with the number 1 seed Bucks. And the defending champs swept a depleted Nets team, including a Game 4 where the Raptors' bench scored 100 points. It's an NBA playoff record, and they'll need all of that in round 2 against Boston. For the first time in history, the Raptors and Celtics were facing off in the postseason, and it was humbling for Toronto as the C's smacked them by 18 in Game 1. But they rallied in Game 2, up by 8 points headed into the 4th quarter. And then Marcus Smart happened. The dude cashed in 5 straight threes in a 4-minute span, including an and one to take the lead. Boston never looked back, and they're up 2-0. In our other Eastern series, we had the now back-to-back MVP and Defensive Player of the Year Giannis up against a well-balanced Miami team led by Jimmy Buckets. And in Game 1, it was Butler who played like the MVP. He spazzed for a 40-piece, including 15 clutch points in the 4th to go up 1-0. And in Game 2, tied at 114 with 4 seconds left, he does it again.
Miami inbounds. Here's Butler with 3. Butler with 2. With 1. Butler against Matthews. Gets it away and no good. Do we have a foul? We do. A foul is called. And Jimmy Butler can win it at the line. Got it. 2-0 in the series. Wow.
On a questionable shooting foul, Butler nails 2 free throws at the buzzer to take a 2-0 series lead. And in Game 3, he'd run it back. Jimmy outduels the MVP once again, pouring in a 17-point 4th quarter, while all of Milwaukee scored just 13. In an absolute shocker, Butler and the Heat have the NBA's overall number 1 seed on the ropes, down 0-3. The same deficit the Raptors are just 0.5 seconds away from. Down 0-2 and tied at 101, Toronto fell asleep on defense as Daniel Tice threw down the go-ahead bucket with 0.5 on the clock. The Raptors are going to need some of that playoff magic from 2019 to pull off this miracle. But without Kawhi, who takes the final shot?
Up high, taking anybody coming to the ball.
Series on the line. Anunoby got it off and it goes. Did it count is the question. OG Anunoby buries a triple at the buzzer.
Off an insane pass from 6-foot Kyle Lowry over a 7'6" Taco Fall, OG Anunoby quick triggers the corner 3 to save his team from an 0-3 deficit. It's one of the most underrated game winners of all time. Toronto kept the momentum too, with a Game 4 win to tie the series at 2, to which Boston responded with a Game 5 blowout to retake control of the series. But you can never underestimate the heart of a champion. In a Game 6 double OT thriller, Kyle Lowry lasered in a dagger fadeaway for his 33rd point of the night as he slid on the court like a penguin in celebration. We got a Game 7. Milwaukee, however, did not force a Game 7. In fact, it got worse. Giannis got injured in Game 4, the Bucks somehow got the win, and with the MVP still out for Game 5, it was wraps. Miami kept their foot on the gas to complete the upset over the number 1 seeded Bucks and clinch their ticket to the Eastern Conference Finals. But will it be against an old foe or the defending champs? It was do or die for the Celtics and Raptors, and it came down to the wire. With Toronto down 2 with a minute left, Norman Powell gets the ball on the fast break, and Marcus Smart evolves into LeBron James as he swats his layup right off the backboard. It was insanity, and with another chance to tie the game, Fred VanVleet airballs, Boston wins, and the Tatum and Brown Celtics are back in the Eastern Conference Finals to face Miami.
Got downhill.